starting. Good night, good night, good night, good night, everyone, and welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode here with us on Track and Field Talk Net. Good night, good night, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good night to you wherever it is that you are joining us from. We are live coming to you from Track and Field Talk Net, where we have a burning conversations to have tonight. We have a great guest here with us tonight that we will be talking to. So come on in, come on in, come on in, and let us have the conversation. Remember, as you come on in, you can like, share, and also subscribe. Share it so other persons can be a part of the conversation. Don't keep it to yourself. Tonight, we have a great guest with us, and we want the conversation to be an exciting conversation, an exciting one. And tonight, here with me is three of our admins, you know, the pretty peoples and all of those stuff. Yes, definitely, we are here tonight. It is none other than myself, Miss Latoya Clark. You know, we have Maurice, we have Kino in the building, and we also have Xavier tonight that will be doing and taking us through this episode of Let's Talk Track. So definitely, we are here for it. I know you guys have been booming from last week when you saw the post up. So we are here to just enjoy the talk. What is the Maurice? You ready for this? Maurice said, heart, I love you. He's ready. Definitely. Kino, you're up and ready, right? Kino? Up and ready?
I'm ready. Just remember that I'm at work, so I'm in the office.
Not a problem. But I like how you look tonight, boss, you know? I'm the work and you're the boss. Xavier, what say you?
Let's talk.
Let's talk. Indeed. Good night, everybody.
Boss,
Good night.
Huh?
The boss, seriously.
Boss said, let's talk. He's not in no conversation, right? So definitely we will be talking. I mean, before we even kick off into that, I mean, the weekend was fantastic. Oh my God. The weekend was fantastic. It was a great weekend. Yes, to close the season. Good night, Lizzie. You're early to class tonight. Good night. I like to see that you're very early to class tonight. Thank you so much. You know, the weekend was exciting. It was an exciting weekend. For some of us, it was a great one. For some, it was an exciting one. I saw where some persons was stating what their applause was, or their great moment for the weekend was, you know, and even for Budapest itself. So definitely, it was a great one. Maurice, what was your weekend? What was your excited moment for your weekend?
To be honest, maybe it's not an exciting moment, but the 400-meter hurdle, everyone was shocked that Roy Benjamin won that race. And that wasn't a surprise for me because before the World Championship, he was the fastest person leading up to the World Championship. That gold medal was just for him. So I think he proven what he should have delivered at World Championship. But, you know, at the end of the day, we have hiccups as an athlete. So I think that was one of the most exciting races. And to see that Sharika Jackson actually get the Diamond League double, that was amazing too. And good to see that Natasha Morrison finally diving into a new PB. Let's see what happens 2024. And Elaine Thompson, you know, running down week by week by week. That's amazing. That was really, really amazing. And not to mention Natalia Gould, 800-meter national record.
Woo! Broke her own national record and set a new one.
Jamaica had a really, really great
weekend, Diamond
League final. Not just the Diamond League, but the Diamond League final.
Great Diamond League final. Xavier, what say you?
I'm like, I love fields. I'm knock Shanika rough, and she finally deliver for me. I love 15, so I appreciate the 15, and not even one time, but 2 times. And when she jumped 15 couple weeks ago, or a week and so ago, I said, wonder if she can go back there, and she have proved a lot of critics wrong, that her body is rounding up to 15. We have a freak of nature in the rowers. Me not expect nobody to jump. Me not expect a Jamaican or anybody in the world to come close to her right now. Apart from that, Natalia just know when to just sweet up people mouth. When you think she down and out, she just bring piece of the cake and say just bite piece. And she just keep on a deliver. And I'm really proud of that national record too. But
So that was your moment. Kino, what was
um
yours?
you
Okay,
just a
sorry.
shut me up. Go on,
No, I said
Kino.
sorry.
She know what me talking
Sorry.
about. It's
No, no,
okay.
no. I thought you were
Mm-mm.
finished. My apologies. I thought you were finished.
Um me just want Ansel learn for jump over first to hurdle them.
Not even road, just jump
Not even
over.
road, just jump over first to hurdle them. That's my thing. It was impressive, very impressive. If he could get at least 50% in that start working, we should see that world record go.
Okay. Kino, what say you?
I'm gonna make it quick because I have a matter to deal with. But I just think, well, for Thompson era and Hansel, those were my picks. I mean, Natalia usually runs well at the end of her season. It's not strange. She usually does what we expect her to do at the World Championships or any major championship towards the end of her season. But for me, Thompson era coming back from 11, 14, 11, 12, coming down all the way to now 10, 79, that's very good. And it shows me that her coach is doing. I see some people saying that we shouldn't give credit to the coach. It's just that she changed her mindset. I don't think so. I think it's a combination of a lot of things. Managing the injury properly, change of coach, and also um, her mindset being in the right place now. Um, Hansel is Ansel. I don't think that start is ever going to be perfect because he is um, he is he's tall. He's tall. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit distracted because
So
I just
get
from
this
my staff.
a bit
But
taller.
he's tall and it takes a little while for him to get going. So those first few hurdles, they're always going to be a challenge for him. The taller athletes are never the better starters. If you look at Fambule, Joseph Fambule, who runs that 100, 200, very fast, comes on very late. Um, Even Usain Bolt, he wasn't the best starter. So for Hansel to have that sort of start and still be able to run 12:93 world lead personal best, I don't see anything to knock it for. And I still think there is a world record in those legs.
Okay. Interesting indeed. I mean, those moments were moments for me also to appreciate. Um, as you said, Maurice, I appreciate the double from Sharika Jackson. And for those who don't know, if my memory serves me correct, she is the third female that have acquired that, having the double in the World Championship. So that's a good feat for her to achieve in person's viewpoints who follows track and stuff.
The
It
diamond
was
league.
good. It was good also to see her go at or give it another attempt at the 200 meters. Um, but I'm sure in time that will come. So all the best to her on that trajectory in moving forward to that. Answer for sure was a good one. It was exciting for me again to see um, Shanika Ricketts jump 15, not once but twice in this series, especially also. So that's really good for her. Now moving her PB to 15:03. It was also good to see Kimberly Williams coming back up and looking comfortable in that 14 space. jumping a season best also twice within that series also for us. So we're seeing where the fields is doing their thing. Tajay also was good at what he did over the weekend. The 100 meters definitely was a great thought and a great thing to have seen. 1070, 1085, moving right down 10 nines and stuff. It was good to see Natasha Morrison, that celebration happening there also. It was good also for me to see Toby Amuson race. That was a good race for Toby to have been a part of and for her to achieve that in that aspect. It was exciting for me to see I think Mew run that race and was also, I wouldn't say being put under pressure, but was also, given a little competition, which pulls out a national record for us in that. I mean, the first three persons were running great national records,
National record.
actually. Yeah, so that was a great race there happening. Even Inga Britson running a world record. And also Tessa, Tess- Tisaga. Tisaga, always can't call her name, running hers, also moving that away, coming back, taking it back to where it's always have been. That was something good to have seen there for that weekend. It was
The
also good to
Ethiopian
have, right? It was
5,000.
also was also good to see, I mean, we know how he flies over those poles, but it was really good to see that he achieved that 623 finally.
I believe that world record.
Tessay guy, thank you, BJ. Tessay guy.
I
Say
believe
guy.
the 5,000 meter for the women, that was a really eye opener because no one thought that anyone would have freaking Faith done a Faith record, but Faith.
Exactly. Who would have thought that it would have gone back there? I never thought it would have gone back there so quickly to where,
Yeah,
but it says that competition is in brew and the long distance is making a name for themselves, putting themselves on the board to be watched. So I am for it and we are here, to see this happening. So once again, good morning, good evening, good night, and good afternoon to you all. Thank you so much for joining us here on Track and Field Talk Net. Tonight, we will be having a steaming conversation with another track and field athlete, another Jamaican who we have watched for some time grow and matriculate into the sports as best as possible. And therefore, we will be having a great conversation. I hope you all are ready for this conversation. And I hope you are also ready for any questions that you may have and may want to ask because tonight is a great one. Maurice, can you just give me some headspace on you, please? Your head top is kind of cut off. A little bit more would be good. Thank you so much. Yes, that's great. So we will be getting into the meat of the matter. Greetings and welcome again tonight, everybody. If you are here for the first time, thank you so much for joining us. If you are also not here for the first time, but is also a part of the family, please remember to share with other persons so that they can come on and see what we are doing on over here. Also, remember to like, share, and subscribe. If you are not yet following us on YouTube, please go ahead and follow us on YouTube at Track and Field Talk Net. We are up and running over there. We go live, not just from Facebook, but we go live from both places. That is here on Facebook and also on our YouTube channel. We thank you so much for continue to being with us here and continue to being a part of the family. So let us get into the meat of the matter. Maurice, somebody said you're stable. That is nice. Tonight is his night, being stable. I see. Tonight is his night. It's good to have him stable, indeed, and definitely. Oh God, I tell you, we over here are something else. I don't have to ask who said that. I know who said that, Maurice. You know. So tonight, everybody, we will Our guest is a two-time national champion. He is also a World Continental Cup winner and a World Under 20 silver medalist. He is a NACAC champion and a two-time Under 23 NACAC silver medalist. He has a personal best of 996 and 20.34 in the 100 and 200 respectively. He also has anchored the Americans team to victory in the 4x1 relay at the 2018 Continental Cup, where they clocked 38.05. He went to Garvey Messiah High School before enrolling at the University of Technology, where he joined the MVP track club and later moved on to Tumbleweed in Florida. And he's now back here in Jamaica training. So definitely, if you have not yet seen the poster and have not yet seen who it is that we're speaking of, we speak of none other than Mr. Tyquendo Tracey. Tonight, we will definitely be speaking with him and having conversations with him as it relates to everything about Taekwondo.
All right, guys. Somebody said something. It seems as if Latoya fell off. So Xavier, over to you.
Okay. Apparently she have technical difficulties. Before we go on to Taekwondo, we're going to try our best to divulge in every aspect of what's going on. Can't promise anything, but we will talk, and we'll talk about track and everything surround track when it comes on to Taekwondo. Um, Let me see. I'm still waiting for Latoya to come back on, but let me see.
Well,
But until she come on, we can talk some more about track and field. The plan test did the record again. I think I, th- I think I think I think he's cheating the system.
I believe.
I think he can go 7, but it's him just buying time to make money. Every time you break the record, they get more money and little fame. I think they should just change the rules of that because you can't be changing. You're changing it so
Really?
you can't be changing centimeters upon centimeters, and when you look how much it clears the barrier, I'm already over it by 10 centimeter and still. But then it's what it is. If you get the chance to make the money, you make the money. Um, we saw Sharika go at the world record. Um, Discussion with my friends. Um, I don't think it would have gone. Would have it has to take something more technically sound for her to break that record right now. I don't think she's technically sound right now at the end of the season to go at that record. Um,
What about maybe if she had more competition in Budapest?
um, the problem with competition, you have to depend. I made a statement before I even hear it on TV, is that they wanted to use what's her name as the rabbit in the race, and
Anthony,
Anthony Strawn, and then the commentator said that Bruce James said Anthony Strawn is the rabbit.
you said it like 10 minutes before.
Yeah, and I said it, and Anthony Strawn is not that runner. You need somebody that you need to run down.
That
Sharika cover Anthony Strawn in 2 step.
push for the first 100.
Yeah, so it's not something that it's a good idea, good theory, but figure out which athlete you're gonna put in front of her so she can run. One of the next thing is that Atabolan said, let her run blind. Don't put anybody in front of her. Just tell her to run and have fun.
From lane 9.
From lane 9. That would be brave. We have seen a lot of people do it. Well, Miss Clark is back. She get nervous whenever she come in a presence of cute and handsome. Me no know she not jump off when me on the thing, Maurice.
So let me apologize for that just now.
True in a
Sorry
track
about
star.
I'm sorry about that.
She
So
get nervous with track stars. I just have to
I'm
put it out
sorry
there.
about that just now. So definitely we will now be having our great conversation with none other than Mr. Taekwondo Tracy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good night, sir.
Good night, good night. Yeah, yeah, can I hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm
man.
hearing you
Yeah, I
clearly.
hear you.
Okay,
Perfect.
good.
How are you, sir?
All right. A little tired, but good.
So anybody sleep, you weren't sleeping earlier? Or you need some more rest?
It's actually you just call me at the time when my answer me did literally a yarn. Me never did really asleep.
What time is it, Lati? 8 o'clock.
It is 7:57 Jamaican time now.
Yeah,
So
my clock's kind of still off, so sleep come at any time.
okay, your body has not yet come back to Jamaica.
Yeah.
Okay, understood, understood. So welcome to Track and Field Talk Net, where we talk everything track and field. We learn while we speak about what we know and also encourage as we go along. Where we talk to you guys, the athletes themselves, we talk to everybody, and my family, we call ourselves a family over here at Track and Field Talk Net, says welcome to our home, and we hope that you are as comfortable as possible as we go through this here tonight. So you already know who I am, and my other admins are Maurice, you have Xavier, and you have Kino. So admins, meet Taekwondo, Taekwondo, meet the family, and meet the admins.
Blessings,
Welcome.
blessings, blessings.
Bless up.
Definitely. Kino, kick her off now.
So me come
Start.
in. All right, up yourself, Mr. Tracy.
Hey, Keynote, before you even rush go too far, me say something earlier about talking about Ansel and him height and rate. You know, Bolt have one of the fastest 60 meter in the world.
But I mean, how many times did he get that start?
Every time he run fast.
Not no go so. You know, say not no go so.
Every world championship, every
Eh,
Olympics,
mm.
except 2017.
Step the
Check
false
it.
start and then
Check,
get up out of the block
All
quick
right,
too.
all right. But
check it back and look where
look at
Bolt
it.
is. Look where
Look
Bolt is at 60 meters
look
ahead
at
of
it.
everyone.
Bolt was an anomaly, and you know this isolated case.
Yes, but there's also other persons who are relatively tall because me remains a Fambole and Fambole is not that tall. Trust me.
Him tall and big. Well, not that tall,
Mm-mm,
but tall enough.
mm-mm. I thought so one time until I saw him in person.
Interesting
He's
to know.
All right,
he just have really long legs. That I can tell you. He have
That's
ridiculously
interesting.
long legs.
but Mr. Tracy, give us some background information about you. How did it all begin for Taekwondo? You know, where did the love for track and field begin, and how did you get into the sport?
I mean, there was always somewhat of a love for track and field, or for no, let's not say track and field, competition and competing against others. Because from as far as primary school days, everybody can remember people always want to talk about who are the fastest in the school and yada yada yada. So from them time there, I've always been somebody who part, like for compete and like to say, oh, I'm here the fastest. Even though up until probably like fourth form, it was mostly football for me. But I mean, outside of that, no sports day, no miss me.
Okay, okay. So that happened when you went to Gavi Masaya now, you grew to love track more?
No, before, because I was at Bustamante High for 4 years. And the person who actually got me to give up, I wouldn't say give up, but, stop football, he had a very compelling argument where he was saying that, I should look at the numbers and see how often you see people get scholarships to go overseas for football and compare to athletics. So it's a better opportunity athletics wise. And he's saying that I have the talent, so stop wasting it on football because I am not in one of the places which, at the time he believed that most of the talent who really get exposure overseas come from the schools them in this region, from them top school. Won't call none of them name. But you don't necessarily see a countryman really get out in the world of football. And the number is very small compared to the amount of people who play. I mean, when you look at track and field and the amount of persons that are leaving from year to year to go overseas for school, it's quite a lot for track and field. You don't have the same numbers for football.
Apparently, okay, yes, Lata is back.
Okay, okay. Understood. Um, Tell me about who made you fall in love with track and field. Was it a idol or was it a coach like who made you literally said, "All right, track and
It,
field is what I'm going to do now."
I don't know if I should say it's a person who led me to fall in love with it. Because initially it was, for me, it was just an opportunity to leave school and travel to different parts of Jamaica. But then when I won my first race, and this was in fourth farm, when I won my first race, this is a time I will never forget. When I won my first race, I was running amongst kids who were fully decked out, spikes, tights, and everything. I was in a shorts and a shirt and barefooted, and me beat them. And it's like from that moment is like the feeling of winning, and hear my name call on the audio system. It's like from them time them really like just always want that moment. And I just kind of grew to really love it more and more from then. But the person who really got me to actually put some effort in it is Errol Powell, from Clarendon. He was coaching at, um, well, he was, I think, assistant coach at Garvey Masia. Meanwhile, but that was at the time when I was at Bustamante High, so he was helping out there as well.
Interesting. I always thought that you went directly to Gary Massey. I didn't know you were coming from
No, I
somewhere.
was there for just 2 years.
Okay,
Just 2 years.
that's something to know about you. Gino,
Oh, you're back.
right back at you.
All right. I know you have made some changes in your coaching situation. I don't know if you want to speak too much about that, but how much as an athlete do you think you need to gel with a coach, and what would have spurred, or contributed to your decision to change coaching?
Um, my decisions were not, especially to change coaches. It's not based off anything personal between me and the coach. I can tell you, you don't even have to like your coach. You don't. The most you need to do is actually just trust the program. And if you can find a level of trust or a common ground where you and your coach can actually talk about, you know, how you feel in terms of the program, if this will work, if this is not working, where are you in terms of your development and stuff like that. If if you and your coach can get to that point where you guys are you know at one, where you can just talk about your development, then it's fine. But coach is not part of track and field. I mean, it's a plus, but it's not part of any sport, to be honest, in my opinion. Because as
Okay.
long as you go out there and do what you need to do, you necessarily don't need to like the person.
But
Follow
don't.
follow up question.
Okay, go ahead.
If it's a case where you don't like your coach, or you're saying that it's not important to like your coach, how then do you separate that from trusting the program? Because for me personally, I'm not disagreeing with you, I just want to play devil's advocate here. If I
Mm.
don't like the person, perhaps I wouldn't like the program either. So how do you separate the two?
It's I for me it's simple. I mean, if you if you can look at your development in a program and say, okay, this is clearly working for me, I'm getting better, I'm getting stronger, I'm getting faster, right? You can know that the program is actually working for you. I mean, when I say you don't necessarily have to like your coach, it's not a matter of you hating the person, right? You go to work every day, you won't sit down and have a conversation with your boss every single day or talk to him about everything. Most people, as me, probably don't even like them boss, or probably even don't even barely even know them. And
Well, I would
that
go
that
like
that
half of
will that won't stop you from doing your job. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, as long as you know that it's working for you, it's fine. Um, I've I, earlier in my career, I never saw myself switching coaches or program, but the more things got complicated and individuals change, then you understand that sometimes you need to make certain move. Um, my first move was because of a contract that I didn't agree with, um, and we couldn't find a level playing field. So I decided that okay, I'm moving on. The second time before I moved back to Jamaica, that coach is a brilliant coach, just like the one before. Brilliant coach, but he something is wrong with him mentally. There was so much things going on, from him being investigated for several different things, how he treated his athletes. Um, he has certain negative and racist slur that he uses where he try to play it off most times whenever it comes out, and things I've seen and things that I heard about that he did after joining the club. And then after a while, it's almost like those things were being portrayed at me because of, honestly, I don't even know, because up to today, I can remember people asking me, yo, Tracy, what you do to the man? I mean, I say, I mean, all I would there together if I did something sure on that see. So at the end of the day, I decided that I needed to leave. And yeah, as a matter of fact, before I even left there, I spoke to my agent and he's saying that he's getting a lot of messages from multiple people. And he thinks that maybe the coach is just going through a rough period, maybe stress or whatever the case may be. So I just should just give it some time and see if things change. Things never did. So I did what was best for me at that time. Came home, eventually won the national trials 2021 that same year with all of those changes. And unfortunately got injured at the Olympics before I could even compete. So yeah.
Can I just pause you right there? Because I actually have that race that I wanted to show, because that race speaks some things and brings up some things. Because as you just rightfully said, that, you qualified for that team at that time and got injured. I think we were able to segue into that aspect. But I'm just going to show everyone that race.
Final. This is the last of two on day two. Set position. They're sent away. Tyquendo Tracey gets a good start. Julian Fort is right there. Johan Blix
finding it difficult, losing his form. Fort staying relaxed. Here comes Tyquendo Tracey. Justifies himself as the national champion. Oblique Seville is going to the Olympic Games. This man always on a mission.
They gave it to Tracy.
Yeah.
And Julian is second.
Yeah, Fort 10-0-0. Taekwondo Tracey, his second national title. And he means business. Very outspoken, very expressive.
See, I know you would have put that smile on your face. Definitely. I mean, we saw your expression on that. That was your second time winning. Yes, Maurice, the beating of the chest and everything that came out with that, right? That was your second time becoming national champion.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like for you though? What was it for you, that expression? You were expressive and everything.
That was a mixture of it was an emotional roller coaster, to be honest, because there was a lot of things being said before then, and people, especially the camp that I left, the coach was saying a lot of things like, "Oh, I won't make the team," yada yada yada, and a whole heap of negative comments from even people back here, because a lot of people see an athlete and leave somewhere they don't know the reason why, but they automatically like to say, "Oh, the athlete is the problem." And that is a thing with authority. You see, when you have a big name, whenever people have an issue with you, they're always going to say it's that person. It can't be the big man. So there was a lot of talk, and winning at that point meant a lot to me.
Mental. Do
I
you
want to
wanna?
get into the meat of the matter because I know a lot of people here want to segue into what really happened at the World Championship and you know what our thoughts are on the management and the administration of of the J3s and everything in that regard. So
Tina, not to cut you though.
mhm,
Not to cut you because we know we're going to the meat of the matter, but I have a question before you get to Budapest.
before I get too controversial,
Yeah, before you get to Budapest, and it's just general information, Taekwondo, that public would like to know because if you're not close to the sport, you won't know. You're a national champion. You make the team. Do they state specific rules and regulations of how the system will set up? You need to report here. You need to make this happen. You need to make yourself available. You need to give me a passport. You need to have this. You need to have that. Do they? Because you won the 100 meter, say, all right, I win the 100 meter. I'm gonna make the relay team. What about the persons who finished 4, 5, and 6? Was there a specific rule then to say I name the team and this is what it is?
Listen, I'm going to tell you this. I can be sure if you ask a lot of past athletes if they know about these things that are being said, no, that, oh, XYZ, if you finish here or there, you're them going to say they don't know about it. The thing is, um, I believe that there are somewhat rules there for different reasons. I I have never been in a situation where there was a press conference or there was some kind of email sent out or even in signing up for the trials. And when you select, say, 100 meters, you're running 100 meters, there's a disclaimer say, oh, they're bringing six persons for the 100, but you are not guaranteed if you finish four, five, or six. So those things are not things that people know about, right? Those things from my experience are only brought about when certain people are going to be benefiting from it. Outside of that, um, to me, the rules don't. I won't say they don't make no sense. Outside of that, the rules are not exercised because we can always check back to years before where a man met the top six, finishing at the top six, but you have people who are running faster than him who didn't make the top six, but didn't get selected for the team. So as I said, it's obvious that like there are certain things that people only press and try to exercise this rule when time it benefits them.
Okay. Yeah, I do understand that. It's just that we wanted to find out if I represent Jamaica, and part of representing Jamaica, the coach or the manager will tell you what is expected and what the rules are. But it seemed like
I mean, they tell you what is expected in terms of, okay, you are a part of it when you get to the championship, not before. When you get to the championship, okay, you're a part of the relay team. You are expected to show up at X time for relay button passes. Um, in terms of your mentor and something about passport, those information are always dealt with prior to way before you even get to the championship. They don't need that information at the championship because they need to get there.
Yeah.
So they need all of that information from before. Uh, those are really small details who really don't affect much people outside of if you probably need a visa to go somewhere, which may or may not take some time. But yeah, outside of that, as I said, certain rules that are going around and people are trying to exercise now. People never usually pay them the mind before. If they were there, I don't know about them.
So I know, for
I
instance,
I
that they
always know about top six. That's what I always know about.
So the communication is not basically clear then.
No, I mean, as an athlete, you can count as a senior athlete, put it that way. Or no, put it this way, as a Jamaica national representative, you can probably count on one hand how many emails you receive from J3 per year, right? So, I mean, I don't think they have that much to say. But I remember in a meeting where I had said to them, no, sorry, it wasn't in a meeting. Who was I saying this to? I don't quite remember, but I was saying that you guys can make us athletes feel more welcome. You guys can send out a broadcast email. Say you guys are just checking up on us. Hope everything is going well with your training. Yada yada yada. Just to make us feel like you are looking out for us, right? And stuff like that. But I mean, is not the certain information that like especially about that really that nobody really talks about. Those things only come about when a situation like mine presents itself.
Because it brings me to my next question in that pool of six. You made the pool of six, and you mentioned that they tell you need to report to button practice and report to relay training and stuff. One of my question is that it comes back down to, and this can come up, is that it boils back down to money. So if no rules or regulations or anything that is put in place, if you wake up every morning and bring your go Budapest, and you wake up every morning and I'm say for report your training, we know the prize money. Everybody out there know the prize money. You know the prize money, and you have to wake up every morning and train. Is it what's a compensation package in that part of it? You might not be selected to run.
Nothing.
You understand? No, you
Nothing.
don't get nothing.
You're not get nothing. So I mean the what people even fail to understand, you like a lot of us athletes have clause in our contract, and one of them for some of us is you have to compete at the World Championship or Olympics or whichever major championship is happening that year, or else you will lose a certain percentage. But also, as a new athlete that is about to sign a contract with a company that is interested in you, the more accolades you have, the more money you get. And this is one of the things that I'm trying for people to understand. People are saying like, oh, it's about the run, and it's
It's
more
not.
than that. It's more than that.
I share the same sentiment with you. My theory behind of it is that coaches that are affiliated to nationals use the program to market their athletes to get sponsorship. So you see a particular coach pick a particular athlete even though they're not qualified, but you have to put things on your resume in order for a company to buy in. Pretty much, right?
Yeah. So as I said, the more accolades you have, the more attractive you will be to a company. So at the end of the day, people don't understand the technicalities of track and field, and may just look at it like, oh, you're doing this for the country and you're doing what's best for the country. A lot of times these coaches are not doing what's best for the country, especially when they have athletes who they want to involve. So at the end of the day, it's not just about going out there and running in the black, green, and gold. It's way more than that. It's way more than that. Because trust me, people have bills to pay.
Understood. Kino.
Well, I was listening to the conversation. For me, the whole thing it boils down to mismanagement, and I personally don't believe that a coach who has a special interest in a national setup should be in a management role, because for me that's a conflict of interest, and especially when you can see the clear sort of nepotism, then
Hmm.
there's a challenge there for me, and I think that is what is causing the problem. So how much of that did you see? Because I want to get into what happened here. How much of that did you see in at this World Championships and in previous international meets where a team has to be selected for to represent the country? How much
I've
nepotism have
I've
you seen?
I have seen quite a lot, and a lot of other athletes can speak to it. You see, my thing is, I've always hear people say, "Oh, you don't want to get into certain things with J3A, and that's why certain people just leave certain things alone. People don't speak on certain things, right?" Um, I've seen quite a few. I mean, not just with me or other people, and I tend to not want to talk about other person's experience unless I need to. Let's say I need to show an example. Like I can give you an example from last year at the Commonwealth. If you look at the Commonwealth last year for the 200-meter men, the person who ran 200 meters at the Commonwealth for us, he didn't make the 200-meter finals at the trials.
Yeah,
The head coach of that team is his coach. So you can help me put two and two together. A man don't make the finals at the trials, but was able to run over the other 8 men who made the finals. Let's say finished ninth at the trials. And then I know for a fact a lot of people don't go to Commonwealth. A lot of top people don't go to
right.
Commonwealth. But then I know that everybody in the top 8 didn't say no, because I for a fact know some people who wanted to go and got replaced,
For
right,
this person.
for this person. So a man can't tell me that there isn't some kind of favoritism and nepotism and all of that is going on.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
and the thing is, if you guys can also notice and watch the media that is going on, every time there's an interview that has been done, they never answer these questions. They keep on wanting to talk about the technicalities of why I was replaced. The little rules that were in place that nobody really knew about, and those little technicalities. Those are only thing they really come online to explain. They don't come online and really try to explain the obvious things, like how this man run at the championship and him finish 10th, how this man run an individual event and him finish ninth. Those things they don't speak on,
yeah, yeah.
because at the end of the day, how are they really going to speak on it?
Yeah, it cannot be explained. I mean, as I said, the nepotism is
It
so
I mean, it can
blatant.
be it can be explained, but they
Them
do
not
they
gonna
won't
explain
they won't dig themselves into a hole.
into a hole. Yeah, yeah. What what
So
what really went down with you there? Tell us about the background stuff. What we didn't get to see. Those little meetings that they claim they would have had with you, and we heard that you behaved pretty badly in some of those meetings. Tell us what happened.
wait, what up?
Yeah, man. Word on the street is that you were rude in the meetings.
I
That was
was
the interviewer.
okay. o- Okay. Wait, the word on the street is that I was rude in the meeting.
In some of those meetings, yes.
Okay, this is lovely. This is lovely. I would really love to know where these are coming from. But let me because you notice I'm smiling now because I like when these things come forth, and I would love for it to come from somebody where I could say, "You sure?" And you were in that meeting. So let me tell you something. When that relay meeting was held, right? The first one, and they said, okay, these are the 5 persons that are running. In my head, I said five. And by five,
But it was 6.
right? But then, of course, they came out and they said when that meeting was held, remember, they come out and said the team wasn't selected until the night before the event, which was a lie because that team, we had the meeting on Monday. They told us who was going to compete. Not all of the athletes was in the meeting. There was one person missing. But they told us who was going to compete and who is going to come in if somebody gets injured. Right?
So they had a contingency in place.
Yes. So of course, those 5 persons, excluding me and Campbell, was going to compete. And I was like, wait, how am I out? And this person is in. So in the meeting, I said nothing. The only thing I did was shake my head and I did it because the only thing I can do, I really process how this man I said to me.
So you never open anybody's face and them thing there.
Yeah, remember, we could get to it now. So the day afterwards, no, before the day even done, I started sending messages to the head coach, which everybody know him, and the coach for the 4x1. I said, I need to have a meeting with you guys because I need to get something clarified. I didn't end up seeing them until the next day in the evening. And I knew something was going to be off. So I decided to take out my phone and I have this recording app, voice recorder. It's voice recorder, yes. And I recorded the interviews 32 minutes and something. I have it recorded on my phone, right? Where I was talking to them. So I would love for them to explain to me how I was disrespectful to any one of them in that meeting because I can replay this for anybody. And that is one of the main reasons I have this recording. Because I knew they know how it is. The higher up you are, the more you say, the more people believe you, unless you have concrete proof. And that is why I made sure I recorded that meeting. So I have all of that meeting recorded. Even one time a man thinks, say, oh, this, him can't bother with this now and walk out because he's a big man. Right? I could have told people I felt disrespected by that, but to be honest, it was neither here nor there for me. Him couldn't take the pressure, so him decided to say, I leave. Right? So the only time I can say somebody or he or the person who may have been saying I was disrespectful to them, the only time anyone can say I was maybe a little bit disrespectful or out of place is when I tried to annoy Mr. Wilson. And I wouldn't even say annoy because when the guy said there was going to try to get an interview from him, I was like, okay, I need to be in close proximity so I can hear this. Because I would really love to hear his response. When they got over there, he told them that he's not going to do anything on air. He's not going to, on record that is. And he started speaking to both of them. Right? And this was on Wednesday. So the meeting happened on Wednesday, really a meeting. The next day I had the meeting with them, which I recorded, and nothing was basically solved from that. Basically, the bottom line is they just say, yo, this is what we're doing, and there's nothing you can do about it because they think this person is the better choice.
So let me ask you a question.
Wednesday, wait a minute, Wednesday, when time them do the interview with me from TVJ because I had released the video Tuesday night. So Wednesday, I did the interview with I think TVJ or one of them, and then they went to him for to question him, to ask him, what is going on. He decided he won't do any interview on record. What I did though is when he was talking to the guys, I went over to where he was and I stood across from him. I stood in a close enough proximity for him to be able to see me. But he didn't see me immediately. And when he held up his head and saw me, he said to me like, what is it? I said, nothing. I'm just here. and then he held down his head and like he chuckled and hold up his head again and say, I can help you. What are you doing here? I'm say, I'm just here like everybody else at the championship. You're going to see the Italian over there ask him what is he doing here? Or, I'm just here. So him start laugh now and said to Spencer Darlington, say, hey, listen, I could just take this somewhere else because I don't know what this is. And I laughed and walked away. I laughed and walked away. And he took that as me being disrespectful to him. And he made calls to have me removed from the team for that, which he then said he didn't do. Right? He made calls to have me removed from the team. And then Thursday, they made statements that, the team wasn't going to be selected until Thursday. When I have all the recordings and everything, and they even did an interview. Dennis Gordon, that's his name, did an interview and he spoke about the team and how they are going to run the team. So if the team was selected on Thursday, how can you speak about that on Wednesday? If it was selected Thursday night before the run for Friday, and you spoke about it on TV Wednesday. And when you spoke about it, you said last night you heard, you was told. So that means you was told on Tuesday. And then you come out afterwards, after the championship, and said that this is the same person who called out the team the Wednesday and said he knew from the day before, which is Tuesday. Said the team wasn't selected until Thursday night. You come out and said that after the championship. And I was like, so he forgot that he did an interview and, saying that the team was selected from XYZ time. No, all of a sudden, the team was selected until Thursday night before the run on Friday. So those are some of the little things that I keep on telling people. Like if you listen to them or watch them, they literally telling lie on themselves.
Yeah.
Just to look better in the public.
Yeah. There certainly is there are a lot of inconsistencies in what is being put forward because Odian mentioned one just now in the comments. They claim in their interview that it's top 4 that should be selected. But in another interview, they said they were basically saying that no position is guaranteed. They will basically choose the team.
So this
You
is one of the
understand?
things.
Yeah.
She gave a very good example. So this is one of the things that I keep talking about. You said these rules are in place or has been in place for XYZ time. So how is it that not even you seem to be familiar with it? Why is it that whenever you bring forward a statement about something happening or whatever happening, it's almost like you're not sure of what you're saying because it never corresponds with what you said before.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, these people are. It's not just one person. Because trust me, if one man is able to pull all these strings to make sure that XYZ benefits and then everybody else is defending him, that means everybody is extremely afraid of him. Or everybody else is a part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. It stands to reason. I want to know, have you had any sort of one-on-one exchange with Coach Wilson?
Last time something like that happened was 2021 after I had gotten hurt, and I think I went shopping at this place that was on the Olympic Village, and I wanted a book. And he bought the last one. And it's like I think he asked me, where I was coming from. We were in the elevator, yes, going back to where our floor is, and I said, I was going to buy a book, but them run out, and he actually gave me the one that he bought. That's the last. I think that's the only conversation I can remember having with him, like one-on-one conversation. Outside of that, no. I mean, even with this situation, I knew because I've seen a lot of people say, "Oh, this thing could have been handled, quietly between you guys." No, no, it could not be handled that way. Because I'm going to tell you for a fact, if they went as far as ignoring three athletes to make sure this specific athletes get on the team, they knew what they were doing, and this athlete's name wasn't released to anybody. We just saw him there. So that means they definitely wanted this person there, right? So this was planned from a long time ago. So me going to this person and say, hey, you know, what is going on? We need to do this or we need to do that. Them not gonna change their mind because they already knew what they were going to do,
Yeah. I want to
right?
touch
And
on that a little bit though, Taekwondo.
One
Uh,
second, Keenan, before you go there. Just one question. You said this athlete, we just saw him there. So he was never a part of the relay training when you guys were
yeah,
training?
yeah, 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 yeah. No, man, I'm talking about when the selection was initially made and the team was released to the media and the press conference was held. This person was on the team, but then their claim is that based on performance, they decided to add him last minute, which the deadline to make any changes was the 30th of July, right? And there are several persons, well, three persons to be exact, who wasn't considered, who were doing far better, who had far more experience than this person. Well, let's not say far better, but who were doing better, who had far more experience, which would put them at a more desirable height than this person. But yet still they decided they wanted this specific person.
Okay, understood.
so
What
are
is
you saying that the person was there? Because the argument from them is, that some sort of provisional list was done at first, and then the master list would have had that person on it. I don't recall seeing that person's name on any list at all. So when you
There,
said that that person came
there
in,
was
it was
there,
shocking
there,
to us.
those little fancy words. Please don't fall for them. And provisional lists and all sorts of foolishness. Listen, if and when somebody is added to a team, especially like a world championship team, when you're talking about people who have contracts and contractual agreements, you don't just get up and say, oh, we're going to change this and don't notify anybody, right?
Yeah.
And the way that it was done, if me give you four athletes, each of them faster, different level of experience, right? One of the most experienced one, he has one of the fastest time. You are trying to tell me that I have somebody that is running faster than number four guy who will have 15 years more experience, and I'm going to choose the one with no experience over that person if I'm looking out for the best for the national team as a selector, as a selecting committee who selects the Olympics, World Championship, Pan Am, CAC, Commonwealth, all that. So you are trying to tell me that you think that was the best choice.
Mm. Yeah.
And that was my argument. I'm saying that, listen, it is obviously that you definitely want this person here.
What
And you
what how could they
I have
benefit? How could Coach Wilson benefit? I'll let you speak. Um, but how could
percentage. Most
okay?
most most coaches get a percentage of whatever the athlete make.
Because I want to go down that road with you. I want to hear what definitely could have been gained from him being there and from his
Even
athletes participating.
even even if he doesn't gain a dollar from it, he's going to always have the accolades. Oh, I have an athlete who medal in the 4x1. So there is some sort of gain from it as being the coach, right? And I, based on who I know, most places are in Jamaica. I'm probably I'm more than sure you probably uh, don't quote me. I could be wrong, but I'm willing to guess that he would get a percentage of whatever he earns at the championship,
And it would increase his bargaining power for those athletes
and he
on the
and he
circuit.
And
and he
you're
and
right, Kino.
exactly
Your bargaining power is what you're looking for because
exactly
you have to go to the drawing board now. It's off season and you need contracts.
Yeah.
exactly. So it's
Maurice,
not just about trying to get an athlete out there to run. It's a lot more than that.
Maurice.
All right. I have a question for you, Taekwondo. All right. So you made the post on Instagram, right? I think I had messaged you on Instagram and tell you that I don't remember. I messaged you on Instagram and you replied and
My
um
reply, because trust me, a lot of time my
yeah,
reply to
man.
so much people and so many people me still no reply
I
to.
I
But
messaged you and I said I was in support and continue to do well and all of that. But you made the post on Instagram and you came out and you speak your truth. I want to know why you decided to do that. However, I think you have dealt with all of that questions before, so you don't have to answer that part. My question is though, when you made the post on Instagram, do you think not do you think, but do you think that you would have gotten the support from other athletes
no,
to back
no,
you or
no, no,
beyond?
no, no, no.
Because um on my I look on Twitter and I realize that basically one athlete I've seen posted something in agreement stating that it had happened to them a few years back, which is should I call the name Lati? I don't-
Ah man, if him actually brave enough to post that, it
yeah,
no matter.
Warren
Just
Weir.
invite
I
you.
think Warren
No
Weir
man, other people
athlete
made posts,
posted.
other athletes made posts, but it's always past athletes who make posts, and especially people who send me messages like giving me scenarios of when things happen, and because there's a lot of things people have sent me that I haven't spoken about yet, because there is I'm waiting for the domino effect where if
Let
Mr. Man decide he want to come at me, there is a lot to say that I haven't said as yet. But I did not expect
say
it.
some of it here, so now.
No, not yet. I did not expect any support, especially from the athletes there in Budapest. As I said, if you have been around athletics in Jamaica long enough, you will hear from somebody that don't mess with them, because you will get blacklisted, and you're supposed to get this and you're supposed to get
It's
that, and
I
you're
want you
supposed
to
to get selected for team.
right. So
But that but for me, as I said, especially like let's say for instance, I probably finish fifth next year at the, God forbid, because I'm planning to win.
Why
But
why you going so far? You might get false start.
and you know the
you,
amount of people said that to me
you
from
might not get up out
from
of the blocks.
from you know what that people said that to me from here. Say
I'm not even
every time you're going at the blocks, make sure say you check it. Make
me
sure
not
say you
even
make
go
them
me not
double
even
check
go
it.
blocks either.
Because
Me I go application. Me I go
yeah,
for applying for run.
But I wanted to ask you though, Taekwondo, because you mentioned people saying that you might be blacklisted. And I remember having a conversation with my fellow panelists, and I made the point that there is not much that they can do to you, because track and field, unlike other sports, it's something individual. You go and you sign up to run, and you run at trials.
yeah,
What kind of
and I
sanctions
agree.
can they put on you?
If I had did something wrong, I don't know what kind of sanction they may have brought to prevent me from running. But since I didn't do anything wrong and I spoke facts on what happened, I don't see I don't know of any sanction they will want to bring against me. But I mean, if there is, I'm sure they will come with it. So we'll see eventually. We'll see eventually. But as I said, I did not expect any support from the athletes. I've heard the fear in even coaches, because I know athletes who send the message to coach and say, "Yo, them are gonna do a video and say and speak about what is going on, and they tell me, them even show me the message where them quote say, hey, leave that alone, right? You don't want to get on these people bad side, leave that alone, right? And if and because I've evidently I won't call any of these people name, but trust me, these people are people that are known, and some of them are really young, because especially the younger ones, because trust me, a lot of them respect me, and some of them are really young, and they quote say, hey, listen, just leave it alone, right? If you end up in a situation, we deal with it, but right now this not affect you. And the thing is that that's one of the things that keeps this trend of the favoritism and nepotism thing going, is that a lot of people won't say anything until they are the one that is in the situation, right? It's been going on for years, and a lot of athletes know it, but at the end of the day, if it was a group, if it was a thing where it was going to affect everyone as a group, I'm sure, I'm sure you would have heard something about it by now.
Where is track and field going though? Track and field Jamaica and the power thereof. In the
Hey, Tim,
notoriety. The,
Tiptoe, go back with the question.
no,
No,
I'm
I
saying
was hearing him.
I'm
Oh,
saying
okay.
where do we go from here though, with the amount of notoriety that this country has and the power of Jamaican athletics. It's sort of like where our athletes are existing in a system where they have to operate in fear, because it's like you have to conform or you get blacklisted. So where do we go from here when we have these people who are administrators in the sport, running the thing and them in charge? Where do we go from here? What do you think? What can change it? How will it change?
So so I think it's going to be somewhat difficult to change, but it is possible. I believe that there are so many athletes who have stepped away from athletics over the years, who would have loved to give their input to track and field. And if you have noticed, there is a speck of, athletes who have been in the sport who left and come back to say, okay, I want to be a part of J3. Small amount. And and with, I can say thank God, J athletics is not left up to that specific organization, because I can tell you for a fact, if it wasn't for these individual coaches, the Steve Francis, the Glenn Mills, even Mr. Wilson himself, and O'Keel Stewart, and the Titans coach, and all of these people, if it weren't for these individual coaches, Jamaica would be nowhere on the map in terms of athletics,
Okay.
right?
No.
Because I've been to so many places over the years, places who haven't even seen probably a gold medal in the 100. Maybe them have a one medal here or there. And if you see how much they have invested in the sport, athletics training centers, Olympic training centers, and athletes getting taken care of, if there should ever be in a tight spot, stuff like that, that they always come forward with, right? If you see how far they are compared to Jamaica, you would be surprised,
Okay.
right?
Final question from me. Lawsuits. We hear a lot about that going around, and are you prepared if that should come at you, if they should go forward with that? Are you prepared to retain legal defense for yourself, legal counsel, and
Put
and,
it,
and to
put it,
fight
put
that?
it, put it this way. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. So you hear it first on Track and Field Talknet.
He's,
The
yes,
big man
he's
says
looking forward to it.
he's looking forward to it. Big man talk. Man, not afraid of nobody.
I mean, it's not a case of me being afraid of anybody or anything like that. You see, if there is a speck in my mind who felt that I've disrespected or wronged anybody, I am not bigger than apologizing, right? Um, I've heard so many rumors ever since the World Championship how disrespectful Tracy is and this and that and
Yeah, man, you run up all in them man them face. All that we hear, brother.
and you know what's funny about that situation? That situation actually showed me who some persons were because an individual that was agreeing with that notion, I was like, wait a minute, what? And then somebody said to me, said, Tracy, it's one big brotherhood. Nobody is going to speak out against nobody. Everybody is going to agree to make sure everybody's on the same page.
Yeah, man, all man club.
As you can even see with their interviews, they try to stay in the same kind of questions, the same kind of answers. I think they did like two or three different interviews, and all of them was the same thing.
I know I said it was my last question, but Taekwondo, last question. I'm glad you mentioned that because for me there seems to be um, some sort of collusion with some media houses and members of the J3. Have you seen any signs of that even in the interviews and how the coverage is done and all of those things? Do you see it leaning towards one side as opposed to the other?
Can I not answer this question?
Yes, you cannot answer that. I'll give you the pass on that one.
Give me the politically correct answer, man.
There
No,
is
I'll
not
give you the
there
pass
is
on
not a
that
good
one.
one. There
Right,
is
I'll give
not
you the pass
necessarily a
on that.
good. There is it's there are some things that is obvious to the eye. Anybody with half of a brain can decipher it. I know that you know the answer to this.
Yeah, man.
Right.
Long time.
So I'll leave it at that.
All right, Maurice, you want to go again, or I can put a chime a question in?
I have a final question. Well, two questions. So now that the track and field season has come to an end, how do you regroup and get yourself ready for because we want to see I want to see you on that team because you won the last trials for Olympic year, but let the injury happen. You didn't get to compete. So what's your mindset now going into, and how do you regroup and try to get yourself back on top form to
you,
compete?
normally whenever it's about like right now, me just a drink, enjoy myself. Probably gain a extra 1 pound. But for now, I'm having fun. I have season. Um, but honestly, there were times when I was looking, like when I look to the year ahead, I'm nervous and like wonder what is going to happen. I already told myself what is going to happen, and I am more looking forward to the year ahead than anything else. To be honest, I can't wait to start training again. But for right now, all I can say is I'm in a good place, and that is all thanks to a specific individual. He tossed some gas on the flame, and it's burning really hot.
Because the controversy when that happened, you have to come out, you have to prove yourself next year, basically.
I mean, it's not necessarily prove myself. It's just to, uh, and to be
Just to
honest,
go out there and shame some people, man. Say it, no, man.
yeah, that word,
Yeah,
what,
man. Shame
Yeah,
some
as
like
you
people. Make
said,
them eat them
that's what
words.
happened when you won 2021. You want
Yeah.
to prove yourself and to shut up the doubters and the haters and the naysayers.
hmm
Right,
but as I say, I look forward to it.
so my next question though, what's your word of encouragement for the younger generation of athletes and coming up?
I've, damn. This might be more than just a word, but I've I've been in athletics enough to see where a lot of people falter because they don't have proper education. As simple as a man or a woman, a girl or a boy may think that, oh, I'm good at football, I'm good at tennis, I'm good at volleyball, netball. If you don't, if you aren't capable of thinking for yourself, people are going to take you for idiot. I've heard that out of a very prominent coach's mouth that if you're willing to be an idiot, I'll take you for an idiot as long as you're willing to be an idiot. And and things like those, I can tell people that, especially like I remember saying to this young girl's mom, she's very talented, but I can see that the daughter itself, she just focused mostly on sports. And I said to her that, listen, I don't want you to try to run your daughter's life, but just be there with her. Help her to make the right decisions. Don't try to run her life so she push you aside, because these things are some of the things that would make you guys have a downfall. But you really need to be able to think for yourself. There is nothing wrong with questioning or asking a question. If an individual have a problem with you asking them a question, it simply means they are not sure of themselves, right? So just just take the book a little bit more serious. That's all I say.
I know that was my last question, but just a follow up question from that. This is the last one. Um, as you mentioned, juniors, who's your favorite male and female junior athlete coming up? It could be field event or a field athlete or a track star, or who you
Male,
enjoy watching the most. Male
male,
and
male Boaji in Krumi. That dude is a beast. Female, um, Alana. I know it may be cliche. I just call out two of the biggest names ever come through Jamaica junior stage, but I saw where they're coming from, right, to where they are now, and they may or may not be the future, but their light is quite bright. So yeah, there are other names I could call, but funnily, I don't really remember people by name. I really don't. I'm more of a visual person. So yeah.
Taekwondo. Um,
1 second, Aquino. You know,
all
you
right, go
want
on.
you say your last question was last long time.
Last question about that thing there, about Budapest.
1 second. Xavier, your question? I have a question, but do you want to shoot your question now?
Um, him answer pretty much of them still. Him say education stand out. Take a book little bit. But I have my question though. Me can never get somebody that was in Budapest and I ask a question. Set up the 4x1 female for me now. You say a visual.
That
Where
was
did
my
see?
question.
Where did see? Tell me where it go. You say a visual,
Before,
You did. You did.
Taekwondo, before you answer that, I'll give you an opportunity to think about it and visualize it. So before you answer that question, right? I know Xavier was coming here. Just piggybacking on the fact that you spoke about what your encouragement would be to a younger athlete. I know where your mentors is because I've spoken to you personally where that is concerned. But I want to know, how is your support system? What is your support system like for you? Um,
I think come to work tomorrow,
in
10 o'clock.
all of this, and also what has your support system been like for you?
I my support comes from everywhere. I mean, at the end of the day, you have a lot of people on social media who will, you know, give encouragement, but I keep my real support comes from close by. So I have friends that I've known for years from before me I grew any of this. And my girlfriend, people that I keep close. I listen to them more than anybody else. Whatever they say in the media or anybody else want to say, it really and truly not affect me much. It's just like sometimes you may say something and you're like, really? It's a person I really think this, them don't even know me. But then, as I said, my support comes from close by. It's nowhere down the road.
Okay. Um, with that, right? So I know you said your support comes from close by. So I'm going to dive into a little segue of your personal part. Would we ever get to see you in your profession outside of track and field? What you did at school? Is that
Yeah,
something?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
I
yeah.
because I know you went to UTech and got your
No,
degree in that aspect of life. I mean,
yeah, 100%. No, trust me. I've That's probably one of the reasons why I like track and field, because if you look at the build up, like the background season, then you have the when you have to start get a bit speedy until you have to peak for trials. There is a build up until you get to the finishing product, and that is the same thing for me with construction. You start from the grass, the bushy area. You have to clean that. As when I said, then you get into whatever else you need to do. You have your survey and all sorts of stuff you have to do before you even start building. And the same thing with athletics. So just seeing something like a bushy field or a hillside move from just being that to a whole project itself, it's amazing. So construction for me is that I've always loved construction for years, from high school days till now. So of course,
okay, no problem. Are you ready to answer Xavier's question now? Because the world is waiting to hear the answer to that
for the
question of
finals, right,
how would you build your 4x1 final team? Yeah, go
Xavier,
ahead.
for the finals, right?
Yes.
Man, for the
Okay,
finals,
for the finals, for the
all
finals, for
things
the
remain
finals.
constant. No
All
fronting,
things,
no nepotism, nothing at all. All things remain
Wait,
constant.
and
I used to the training,
all
I,
so all right. So
before
personally,
you answer the
per
question, answer the question with the relay poll of ladies that they had the best.
Jesus, can I remember? Okay, so you have Shelly, Elaine, Jackson, Natasha, Sasha Lee. Who am I
Brianna,
missing?
Brianna.
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 Brianna. Oh, hope she knows this. But yeah, Brianna. So there was six individual. Of course, for the heats, I would go Brianna, Elaine, Natasha, and well, no, Sasha Lee, Natasha. That's what I would that would be my four for it. I would have not run Shelly because Shelly would have obviously been suffered with an injury. But I mean, who am I? But yes,
So
there was
you would have given Sasha Lee the anchor in that heat.
I would have given her the third leg in that. I mean, at
Okay,
the end of
and
the day,
Natasha.
they just need to bring the button around safely, and they could have easily done that with the team they have with any four.
Okay.
So, yeah, in that manner, yes. So it would be, as I said, Brianna, Elaine, Sasha Lee to
Morrison.
Morrison, and then for the finals, you obviously go bring in the two powerhouse, which for me would be Shelley. And the reason why I wouldn't put Jackson on the second leg, and I guess it's because of the knowledge that I have now, is because of what Elaine did on the back straight in the heat. So I would move her. So it would
Okay.
be Shelley to Elaine to Natasha to Jackson. There
So
for me personally, I have always said this. The worst thing you can do is play catch up. You don't need to. If they had just made Shelly run the finals only and gave her the start, which I believe she's a very good starter. I mean, the world know that. Shelly to Ilian, we would have had at least 5 meter lead over the US at the end of that exchange.
3 to 4.
Natasha, Natasha to Jackson, with the another 11 meters ahead, there would be nobody to try to catch, right? But then they put, for me, we know that Shelly wasn't 100%. You had her run both rounds. And to me, you had her run one of the danger. Any track athlete you talk to, them are going to tell her the back straight is no
The
joke.
second leg is a no joke.
The back straight is
No
no.
question.
I mean,
Let me
Shelly is a powerhouse in herself, you know. So I'm not taking anything from her. I'm just saying I would have made her life a little bit easier.
I would have switched. For me, I I have a similar order, but I would have switched Elaine in the final, put her on anchor, and put Sherika on the back stretch
But that
because
is the thing, you
Sherika
know.
can't run down nobody for me.
All right, so
No, no,
he's
no, no,
going
no,
to
no,
tell
no,
us
no, no,
why
no,
now
no,
he
no, no, no.
chose
The
that.
thing is, you know, Sherika has the best top end out of everybody else. She can hold on longer than everybody else, right? But Elaine,
Is it
based
top
on,
end or is it stamina? Because I don't think we have an athlete in
I mean,
Jamaica
it's the
female
same.
that who has a better top end than Elaine.
Sherika ran 21.4. That
No
alone
man,
should
yeah,
tell you.
but
No, but and no,
barring
but not
injury, don't you
okay.
think that Elaine could probably would have gotten to 21-4 too?
I agree, but I'm saying
Mm-hmm.
currently, because of I know the farm that Sherika is in. Sherika is going to run away from anybody. I can tell you, you know, one of the reasons why Sherika lost at the World Championship is because she was in the middle race in Shelly and never did I look and
Yeah,
Mrs. Mom
I can
way out
agree
a
with
wall
that.
wall.
I
But
can agree with that.
but but in that case, what I'm also saying is that Shakira is just as good as Jackson over the 100, in my opinion. In my opinion, people,
She is as
there is
no, you're correct. She's
so
just
there is no way
That's
you are gonna expect say Jackson I go run past
Shakira
Shakira upon 100
again at 2 hours meet up on her.
or gain a meter or two upon her. That is not going to happen.
No, no.
That is not going to happen.
And I
So
like
my thing is
what you
my
said about playing catch up. Like if they would
yeah,
have had lead from the get go, they wouldn't have to play catch up.
and that is what and this is what my thing. No, there no matter how Shakira twisted, she could have never caught Jackson if she got the button ahead of her.
Yeah. But my
Right?
question,
Well,
my
So
question
with
is that
them play
though,
how them run it to me was really
playing
I don't want to stick it,
ignorant,
but it
negligent.
was
playing it safe.
I mean
Somebody
that's
athlete
their
needed to get
story.
pay. No, somebody athlete need to get pay.
I mean I think Sasha Lee ran in the finals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody athlete need to get pay. Yeah,
Well,
prepare athlete for contract.
well, I mean when I think about it, you,
Mm,
would
That's
really
my
run Sasha Lee in the finals over Elaine.
yeah,
But
that's
And
my theory.
but
anybody in here?
Taekwondo though, the
no,
team has
nobody in here
and
would do
and
that.
and
the team has
based on what she did, no, based on what she did in the yo, when I watched that heat, my virgin beside me have to hold up my mouth so because I was in the stadium. Alien tear off everybody face on the back straight. And when I see that, me I say nobody is going to be able to beat this girl on the back straight. And then I see them take her off for the finals. Me say them no want win. Them no really want win.
no, but
All right, Taekwondo, I'm gonna call three names, and
hold
I'm
on,
gonna
Kina. Let's finish the relay. Why would they have Kelly on the anchor leg in the heats if they had known there she's gonna run the second leg? That's just the only issue that I have with them. If she
I
was
don't
gonna
know.
be on the
Cause
second
you
leg
see
from
me,
the get,
you see
why wouldn't
I
they
personally
second leg?
Personally, I believe if I'm going to run a team where I'm going to substitute persons from, I'm going to make sure that everybody that who is going to run in the finals are going to run the leg that they're going to run in the finals.
Yes.
Because this bag of switch up, it just, I mean, yes, they are professionals, but at the end of the day, practice become perfect. And the more you use the specific person in the specific place, the more them get used to it, and the more things flow.
Someone had
So,
a comment said why
so
Jamaica
HP's
not using the
mhm.
long zone in the relay in the sprint relay.
This person, why Jamaica not using the long zone? Listen, I was saying that myself. This,
Okay.
uh, if you
HP, there goes the
you
answer.
know why we break the world record to 36.8,
Long zone.
the
Long
man them
zone.
used up every inch of the zone. Everybody get the button going full flight. If you don't get the, because the thing is, let me explain something to you. So when you run out and your teammates say reach, you see when you do this, you're going to automatically start slowing down,
Yes.
right? So imagine me going 30 miles per hour. I'm gonna say reach, slow down to 25. right? If you are going at 15 miles per hour and the man's a reach, you slow down to 10.
I know
Think,
where I
think,
go.
think about it, right? So everybody and I think it was since whatever happened in the medley, everybody wanted to at least just secure something. They just go out there and try to be safe. And eh, personally, to
Have
me,
you
it
ever
never worked because all of
have
these
you
ladies
ever
would have won
seen
easily.
have you ever seen the women? Because I've seen that the men practices the long zone, but have you ever seen the women?
They didn't do it in this championship. The men didn't do it in this championship.
Well, I mean, this men team was is pretty new. I mean, firstly, there was no senior to the men team, definitely,
Experienced runner.
or experience in that, because I don't consider Oblique Civil being experienced to the relay because this is his second time around. So there was no experience to that team. So I can understand what you're saying. But I've seen the men done the long zone. But so that's what I'm saying. Have you ever seen the women practice the long zone? Not even to do it in a career. We
I've
have seen
never
that
I've never been to their practice.
oh, you have never been to their practice.
No.
Okay.
And I mean, I think even if I have, I would have been doing something else. I wouldn't be focused on that.
I'm gonna ask the
Let me
outer body question. The last relay question. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna ask an outer body question based on BJ thing. If you were not the athlete but the coach, how would you have set up the male 4x1? So you were not the athlete, you were the coach, and you have those crapper guys, being that they are new. How would you have set them up? And especially the fact that you have seen them in training. So how would you have set up that team?
The male. All right. Let me. Should I minus myself or should I just include myself?
Minus
So
yourself and give me because based on what you have seen.
all right, all right. So based on the six athletes, well, no, it's kind of hard for me to minus it in a sense.
All right, put
So
yourself
all
in
right,
and set it.
if I should put myself in, from what I was thinking, right? There should have been six. So I'm going to work with the six that should be there, right?
Right.
So it would have been in my Campbell, Raheem, me to Seville
For the heat.
for the Heats.
Okay.
Okay.
And then for the finals, it would be wait a minute. Who am I missing?
Oblique Seville.
You said
Rowan,
What's
Campbell,
Rowan
Ford.
Watson?
What's you're missing?
Ford
Watson.
and Watson.
No man, you sure?
You just use Campbell, um, Ford, yourself, and Seville for the Heat.
So that's
So
four.
now
Who is the other two? Who am I
Watson,
missing?
Watson,
Watson
Watson and Blake.
and
Watson
Akeem
and
Blake.
Blake and Akeem, right?
Watson and Akeem Blake. So I would bring in Akeem Blake for the start for the finals. Akeem Blake for start for the finals. Akeem Blake, Raheem Ford. For some reason, I think Raheem should stay on the straight based on how he looks, and he has a very good top end. So
So
Akeem
Blake,
Blake, Ford, me, Civil.
For the final.
Yeah, because I mean, listen, I was there. I saw what was going on, and I can tell you for the first couple button passes practice that we have, I was the only person who was practicing for the third leg. Nobody else, right? And that was one of the reasons why I was so shocked, because I was like, wait, what? So who will replace me? So and I mean, of course, I'm sure you'd have some people on the staff who would argue that and say, oh, everybody wasn't there and yada yada yada. That's why you alone was training for the third leg. But to me, them putting Raheem on the third was a big blunder if they wasn't going to use me, I would say use who there on Blake
Watson.
Watson. I think Watson would have been the better choice to run the curve.
Someone is asking if you can run the corner.
I can run it very well, my friend. I just I just prefer the 100. And sometimes when I run the 200, it's almost like me just think me I gonna run out of gas and kind of ease off on the curve and then run on the straight.
Okay.
Um,
I
three,
mean, it's
three, three, three names for you: Thompson, Hero,
mm-hmm,
Fraser Price,
mm-hmm.
Jackson. Which of them stands a greater chance of breaking the world record, the 100-meter world record? And similar question for the 200 meters.
For the 100, that is a close call. Reason being, two of the individuals are currently, somewhat injured, and we all know the form they were in before they got hurt, and we can see the form that they probably will be for next season. So it's a close call, to be honest. I think all three of them have the capability of doing it, but
Even
but
Shelley
if
at 36.
even Shelly at 36,
You want to
Shelly ran with one leg and still ran 10-8. And got a medal at the championship. Listen, me man, don't even speak too lightly of this woman. This woman is a superwoman. So,
true?
but I mean, outside of that, honestly, for the 100, I would give. If I should give somebody the nudge, I would give Elaine.
And for the 200,
Jackson gone, man. But would I give Jackson? Ilian, I think Ilian could help her to do it because I think Jackson cannot run. She doesn't really know to run by herself in a sense. I think if
technically,
somebody, it no, why I said that, I think if somebody should bring Jackson to 150 meters, she would break the world record.
technically speaking,
Bring her
technically,
to 150 meters in Eugene last
No, not so far.
te-
or
te-
close
te-
to
in terms of technique, though, for me, I see flaws in Jackson's technique, especially
Mm-hmm.
on the curve. I think if she can fix those, just like Noah Lyles, I think she spends too much time on that curve. Um,
I I I can agree and disagree because let me tell you, no two anatomy is the same, and what may work for you will definitely probably not work for me. So you might think she's doing something that may be of a disadvantage to her, but it's actually an advantage,
okay.
right? So I mean, I've never really critiqued her 200-meter like that. I just normally sit down and make noise and watch her run. But I think I think there is always room for improvement, and she still have some room for improvement. And next year, if she fit, Ilian fit, Shelly fit, I know it's sayonara to the 100-meter world record.
Yeah, yeah. All right, three more names. Three more names.
and Shakari.
And Shakari fit.
I mean, for me personally, based on my love of track and field and just watching it and analyzing athletes and all of that. I feel like only two women have a shot at that 100-meter record right now. If Elaine get back to top form, it would have been Elaine, and this is gonna be a shocker to another person, but I'll definitely say Shakari because she's young, she have a lot of time to grow, and a lot of things to fix and work on. I think those are the only two athletes.
I agree with you. Elaine
I
and
think
Shakari for the
only
100 for
Uh,
me.
but can
Shak-
take.
yeah, but I
But
mean,
go
I
go
was
ahead.
going based off the three names that I got.
I know.
So
All right.
okay.
But
I'll give you 3 more names.
just before you go, we know it's almost 2 hours. You're here talking to us. We are
That's
really
not long.
appreciative.
If
But
Maurice not tapping us.
oh, tell us your Instagram handle so persons you can get more followers and your Facebook and your Twitter. So
Everything is Taekwondo, Tracy.
all right. So
TYQU, the name right there. Yeah, I thank God to my parents. They didn't give me a name where a lot of people have, so I didn't have to do no underscore, no, none of those fancy stuff.
put that on the screen so persons can follow him on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Taekwondo, before you go, Civil, Watson, and what I want the name, and Akeem Blake. Which one of them is more likely to break out?
What do you mean by breakout?
Yeah, man, break out. Them not break out yet.
What do you mean?
Brother.
I cannot.
No,
Jesus.
let me say something. You know that I think there is less than 100 persons who have broken the sub 10 barrier.
All right. Let me put it on
Let me put things into perspective.
Talk to him, Taekwondo. Talk to
Do
me.
you know you are well over probably 3,000 to 4,000 athletes per year who are on the 100-meter hoping so them probably are going to do well?
Thank you, Lati.
Brother,
Do you know? Listen, man. Word it differently.
Cool him, TT. Cool him.
Brother. All right, of the three, which one of them you think are going to be the biggest one?
That's the question you should have asked.
Maurice, hold your peace.
I'll play the fifth.
Do we add Kishane
right.
Thompson in that and just make it 4? Just asking
Yeah, I mean,
for
yeah,
someone
you
in the
should.
audience.
Yeah, I think you should definitely add him. No
So
doubt
that's for
about
4.
it.
So go ahead with Kishane.
Yeah, I mean, I'll leave that to the gods.
Taekwondo, I'm
All
next
right.
10-8 season opener next year.
Who?
And sorry, a 9-8. I'm just putting it out there, Lati. I know you
I
want
mean,
to say
Early.
I mean, I would love for that to happen, but I would like to start running maybe those times after like my fifth race, not too early.
Cuthbert, PCB, Shelley. Which one of them you want to go up on the J3 after them retire? After Shelley retires.
Which Cuthbert?
Change your name. Don't change your name
Brother,
quick. Change your name. Change your name. Look at the
All
ad.
right.
Change your name.
Shelley, VCB. I'm still try to draw from one of the older people. Them.
I was
No
gonna
man,
say
no
Kieran
man, no
Stewart,
for real. Which Cuthbert?
What about Kieran
The
Stewart?
same one that we
Kieran Stewart. Aileen
Stewart.
Bailey.
The same
Let's
Cuthbert
throw away
we
the
like.
Cuthbert.
No. She can stay wherever she is. She can stay there.
Right, you see? So
Right,
Juliet,
I
so
don't separate close to
VCB,
me.
I never said July
so
Cafe.
VCB, Aileen Bailey, Kieran Stewart, Shellyan.
Go
VCB,
again.
Aileen Bailey, Kieran Stewart, Shelley.
All of them.
Everybody except Cuthbert.
Like I mean, I've listened to Veronica speak. I've heard people talk about her. I've listened to Shelley speak. I've heard persons talk about her. I've listened to Aileen Bailey,
Aileen Bailey, yeah.
Karen. I've heard persons talk about them. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say anything bad about them. And even if it's something bad, you wouldn't even classify it as bad. You would just say, sure, that's a personal opinion. Right?
Interesting.
And I think these people have been in the sport enough to see things that have happened and things that they wouldn't allow to happen under their watch.
Okay.
Yeah.
With that being said, Kino, you don't have no more 3 names or 4 names, right?
No, man. Go up him girlfriend, you know.
With that being said, I just want to thank you so much for coming over into our house and being a part of our family tonight and sharing your story and being here with us, spending almost 2 hours out of your rest time that your body has not yet adjusted back to Jamaican time. But we want to say thank you so much for being here with us. We appreciate you. We thank you also for representing yourself and also for representing the Black, Green, and Gold. And we are here for your 2024 season. When it is that you start opening that up, we are here to see what it will bring. And we know that greatness is in you and will continue to be a part of you. So we thank you very much and all the best for the 2024 season to come.
Yeah, man. Much appreciated.
Blessings, bro.
Definitely.
Blessings.
Right. So for you all fans, we thank you also for staying with us for 2 hours, for being here with us. So as we say normally, good
My
morning,
God,
good afternoon. What you said?
my God, they're gonna drive go, man. Oh my God.
Okay, please be safe, kiddo. Please be safe. So, as we normally say here, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to you, wherever it is that you joined us from. We appreciate it, and we hope that you will get home safe and continue to be well. Thank you so much. Please look out again for the next exciting episode that is to come. I want you to know that we will definitely be having the double a double. That's all I'm gonna say for now.
Yeah.
We actually will be having a double guest on our show. It will be 2 guests in one time together, and definitely it's a double fold bammy for you all. So please remember, look out for that post. Continue to just like, share, subscribe. Continue to let people know, spread the word. Thank you so much for joining the new page. Thank you so much for being a part of Track and Field Talk Net. We appreciate you very much, very well. So thank you so much. Good night to you all. We appreciate it. Thank you.